You're a real life wow. Between you and my heart's a fire. Adam, baby, you set my world on fire. Adam, baby, you make me cry every time you say goodbye. Adam, baby, swear that you'll be mine.
Go ahead.
No, I just said it's not very interesting, so...
I was saying finish your thought, Joey.
You think I have thoughts to finish?
I do.
Cute.
So I got into an argument with a Discord member once. Not of this. Well, he's here.
Name a name.
It was Crow.
Okay.
Because I said there's no more unreliable port on like a device, especially a phone, than the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack.
I don't know if I've ever had a problem with the 3.5. I have problems with all of my USB-C ports. Every single one of them.
The one in my Jeep doesn't work anymore. This headset that I use here is USB because it wouldn't work otherwise, and all my other headphones are Bluetooth.
Wow.
I've never had one.
Everything being Bluetooth. God.
Yeah, I never had one last.
Well, maybe you need to go up a millimeter.
Yeah, maybe they need to figure out the standard size for it.
The 4.5 jack, yeah.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, this episode, I'm going to go and record this now. This episode of the Game Club Pod contains spoilers for Fallout London. Yeah, we're doing a mod.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh, what?
Joey, we were discussing beforehand, you and I, it does feel like we haven't talked in forever.
Yeah, and people will never know the last time we spoke because it was an episode that has disappeared into the mist of the North Sea.
Yeah, it's been lost to some Lovecraftian creature somewhere.
Ooh, spooky.
It has.
And Cthulhu.
Somehow that DLC episode that I'm yet to record made its way into this spot. Wow. It's almost like I felt guilty for not downloading something in time. Weird.
I wonder how that happened.
I mean, I will explain it in the episode. I have explained it because it's already gone past.
Yeah. But no, we haven't. Since we talked, I went to see Primus. They were excellent, by the way. The opener.
Can you tell me some Primus songs? Because I'm sure I know them, but...
Here Comes the Bastards. That was the one I did when I came back from my break, remember?
Nope.
I started the episode off with the song.
I can't remember 10 minutes ago, Slade. I'm sorry.
Jerry was a race car driver. My name is Mud. When known as Big Brown Beaver, Tommy the Cat.
I know they did the South Park intro. That's as far as my Primus knowledge goes.
They did. Let's see. What else did they did? Sergeant Baker.
Nope.
Okay.
Don't know it. I'm sorry. I've not heard any of these. I'm sure if I heard the music, I would know differently.
Yeah, I would say they're, to me, their best album is Sailing the Seas of Cheese.
Are they a meme band?
No. They're a weird band.
Apparently they're funk metal. I'm just on the Wikipedia now. Apparently they're funk metal, and their first I think it's an album. Suck on This and Frizzle Fry.
Yeah.
It makes sense that they went on to do the South Park song, doesn't it?
Yeah, the funk metal kind of makes sense, though, to describe them. When I was in the record shop and I found one of their vinyls, they were in a section by themselves, and it just said weird. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, it makes sense.
I like it.
Here, I'll show this here, and if someone reminds me later, I'll put a photo of it. They did posters for each place they had a concert at.
Ooh. Slade got personalized merch. Oh, that's cool.
That's pretty cool, to be fair, yeah. I like that.
Yeah, so each venue that they did a show at. And then apparently they signed random ones. This one is not signed.
Where did you get that?
Avondale Brewing Company.
Were they selling them at the merch desk, or did you just steal it from a poor child outside?
I thought about pushing over a child to get it.
And then he did it.
I did. That's how I got it.
You can see the tear marks on the left-hand side.
And that tiny little tear that was a hand holding onto it for dear life.
And the tiny little hand as well. Weird.
Yeah. We did that. and then did the Jeep trail through the Talladega National Forest on the way back. It was so pretty. It was fun.
That looked sick. Looked really
Yeah.
good. I think the best photo though was your Jeep covered in mud afterwards.
So my Jeep has a lift kit on it, and it's about 1.5 feet up to the running board on the side. If you're in the Discord, you've seen the photo. And water was up like over those.
Nice.
Through like one of the crossings we were doing.
So you swam in the national park.
Kind of. Casey was like, "What are you gonna do if we get stuck?" I'm like, "Well, that's why I put a winch on the front, isn't it?" I was like, "This is also why I'm wearing shorts and flip flops. So if I have to get out in the muddy water, I'm not ruining a pair of pants or shoes."
The best bit of it is knowing you spent ages cleaning that truck about a month ago.
Yeah.
Casey said, "What are you going to do if you get stuck?" And Slade said, "Are we stuck yet? No. Then why are you asking the question?"
I did
Slade
at one
said,
point.
"I'm gonna walk. You're gonna stay there."
I did at one point think that I was gonna flip the Jeep, which was a scary moment. We were climbing some rocks with it, and I was like tilted at like a 45-degree angle. One tire was up in the air.
How are you not dead?
I asked myself that
Just
a lot.
in general.
Yeah. It's really hard when you're doing that, driving a manual, trying to climb the rock and holding your like beer in the offhand.
We don't encourage drink driving in this podcast.
It's technically not a road. The laws don't apply.
Technically, you're under the influence behind a vehicle, so it applies.
Since the laws don't apply, Slade also murdered someone.
I did.
Committed tax evasion.
It was a child at a famous gig.
Yeah, and stole a poster from a child.
Yeah, look. There were people breaking the law at the Primus concert. It reeked of weed, like, and there were people. There were people like lighting up and like passing along. Security was just like, whatever. It's Primus. It makes sense for them.
Did you smoke the doobie, Slade?
No, I'm out of my days of the electric lettuce.
The devil's cabbage isn't for you anymore.
No, it never was. It never. I think I've told the story that I went to a wedding in Colorado where it is legal, and they had a bartender and a bud tender, and they have they also had like the dispensaries everywhere where we were, and I was so high I don't remember the wedding. Apparently, according to my parents who were there with me, I was going around stealing water from people's tables.
Fuck you. If you heard two things hit the floor when you said a bud tender, that was my eyes rolling so far backwards that they fell out my skull.
They did at the wedding. They had a bar and a bud tender.
So, yeah. Well, good for them. I hope they're happy.
Oh, they're a lovely couple.
Good. And so high.
Well, they're in Colorado.
24/7.
420, 24/7.
Joey, let's move away from me. I saw little man y'all talking about his birthday on Instagram.
Yeah,
is that what I saw?
Yesterday, my son turned 3.
Yeah.
It's very, very weird being a father of a 3-year-old.
I was thinking you have 2 children. One came before the podcast, and your actual son.
Yeah,
and
2
3
children
now.
So one of them is Slade. The other is my son. Yeah, it's weird to think that the podcast is slightly older than him, isn't it?
It is. That was one of my thoughts. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I don't like it when you think like that. It's like I've told it on here before. That realization when I found out that I'm older than the internet made me feel a bit sick.
Yeah. In recent what was it? It's like a week ago's episode of Casting Views where Mind Wipe with Josh from Talking Smack.
Oh
Yeah, I told Dan, I was like, and I think you were there in the voice chat. I was like, I just want you to feel old real quick. I was not born yet when Jurassic Park came out.
That's disgusting.
I wasn't alive then.
Legally, me and Joey can't talk to you anymore.
I don't think I want to be a part of this anymore.
I thought that's why y'all were a part of Dr. Disrespect's fan club.
Let's not throw accusations that don't have weight around, Slade. So, in fun news, I'm going to see Alex face to face in 4 days' time?
4 or 5 days, yeah.
Let's go. That'll be cool.
The briefest visit in the world.
I'm gonna throw some monitors at him and then leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Genuinely, that's what I'm making the whole journey for. So
It's nothing to do with on the way to work or anything like that. But
no,
but
but Alex will see that I am indeed 4'2" with my big shoes on.
Are you trying to make his visit with y'all's visit shorter than it was with me and you?
Well, it definitely will be shorter than that.
The last thing is, I just got done recording Anime Corner before coming over here, and Alex,
hello.
Jaka asked if you enjoyed the shrimp video that he sent you. he wouldn't tell me. He didn't tell me anything about it. He said, "Just ask him."
So he sent me this video from I think it's on Twitter. I'll post it in the Discord at some point. But it's a shrimp getting a lovely little bath, and he's been really well cared for, and he's getting a little bit of acupuncture, and then at the end he's just getting cooked in honey. So yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
But because it's Jacker and I know what he's like, I was sat there watching the video going, something's going to turn, this is going to turn, this cannot be wholesome, this is going to turn, and then it was a load of shrimp getting dunked in a pan full of boiling honey.
Would you have tried it?
Would I have tried the honey shrimp or getting dunked in honey?
Yes.
The honey shrimp.
I do not like seafood, so probably not.
Have you ever tried honey shrimp?
I can't say I have.
Well, then how can you possibly know? Eat your brethren, Alex. Eat your brethren.
Cannibalism is alive and well. To my knowledge, I don't like seafood.
All right.
But all you know is fish fingers.
No, I've tried salmon and cod and other fish.
Battered fish.
yeah, just different ways to have fried fish. That's fine.
Right. I think let's talk about Fallout.
Let's talk about Fallout London.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back to the Game Club pod. My name is Slade. You can find me everywhere at Slade Plays Games, except Instagram. That's Slade's Life. I am joined by two lovely co-hosts. One of them has been mocking me, so he can go first. Hi, Joey.
Hello, it's bloody Fallout London in this one, and I'm Joey. You can find me in London doing London things.
And I'm joined by the shrimp himself.
I'm far too northern to do a London accent, and I don't like London. So hi, you can find me at Shrimp in Space, I think. That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, we're here to talk about I think this is the first mod we've actually reviewed.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think we've done DLC, but we haven't done a mod.
Yeah, this is the first mod we've ever done. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Alex had been looking forward to this to a long time. But before we talk about that...
I'm here for the ride.
Yeah, you said you'd come along, so here we are. Here's a question I have for the two of you. If you could take one of your favorite game series and move the setting to somewhere else, what game would it be? Where would you move it to?
Dark Souls in Peckham.
And where?
Peckham is a part of London, but it's notorious for gang violence.
No, okay. Fist only run of Dark Souls is what Joey's going for with that.
Mm-hmm. Knives only. Come on.
Can we just put Skyrim in the Dark Souls universe?
That would also work.
I just do a dragon shout and it does absolutely nothing, and you're just there like, this usually works.
Oh. Mirror's Edge, but it's in a small town with no skyscrapers.
Oh, that'd be frustrating.
That'd be like that meme of Spider-Man where he jumps off like the barn in the middle of like a cornfield.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk 2077, but it's the 1800s.
Yes.
Yep.
I like it. Is this the response you wanted, Slade, or did you want a real one?
I didn't know what a real one would be nice if you have one.
That was my real one.
That's fine if you want to stick with that.
I know they've done it before, but they did it super long time ago, to the point where it would be a completely different game. But a modern day Grand Theft Auto based in England would be pretty fun.
That would be fun. And you know what else would be fun? Seeing Fallout in somewhere that's not America. And that's what we get with Fallout London. I don't really know who all to correct. That's not the word I was credit is the word I was looking for. On this,
You just looked at us and said a word, like looked at us and gone, agricultural?
I just had a stroke for a moment.
I just woke up.
Directed by Dean Carter. Programmers are Column J. Quick, Valestev Bitrin. I'm sorry if I mispronounced this. Writer by Column J. Quick, and it was released July 25th, 2024. So this is actually a pretty quick turnaround playtime. I asked these two to play 10 hours of it. Before we head off to our story and setting, which I'm obviously going to read from Wikipedia. Real quick, initial thoughts. Joey.
I thought this game was good for a mod. And I think that's my mark here. I think if this was released as a game, I'd be incredibly frustrated by the lack of stability. I've never had so much problem playing a game for the podcast. I was constantly met with crashes, frame rate dips. That installing the thing took, well, Slade, I played for 8 hours.
Okay,
And
I was going to ask your playtime next.
yeah, so I got 8 hours. But what GOG does is it includes your installation time in your playtime. And if you look at my GOG time, it's 19 hours. So it took me longer to install this game than it did to play 8 hours.
Joey, I'm going to tell you something. GOG has mine the other wrong entirely.
Oh, really?
It says I've played for 3.5, but my save data says 25.
Well, mine is definitely 8 hours.
Yeah.
And yeah, it took an obscene amount of time to get it working. And I think if it was an easy Steam Workshop click, I would be over the moon with this. But it was so marred from the outset by having to downgrade my version of Fallout 4, play on an installer, on a loader that I don't want to own. And then on top of that, crashed and reset and restarted. It just, I got off on a really bad foot with this. That being said, there were some really, really fun parts in it. I was a big fan of the factions. I think my favourite one were the cannibal beef eaters that were running around, particularly those in the very tight corridor in London Bridge. I had a really good time with them because I didn't have any guns at that point. So that meant a lot of running around in tight corridors and using lots and lots and lots of drugs while playing the game. No, to slow down time and be able to kill them one by one. Good mod, not good game. That's where I'll land on it.
Alex, what do we got?
Yeah, the install was an absolute pain in the backside. It definitely sort of started it on the wrong foot. I think, I don't know if I'm correct in saying this, but I think as of recording, there's an easier method now, or they're working on it. But have they not?
No. So the easier method at launch is to just have the game directly from GOG, which we'll talk about that with my installation.
Yeah. But it definitely felt like a mod of a Bethesda project. Take that as you will. But for the amount of time, the relatively small team behind it, and what they've managed to achieve, I think they've done a really good job. It did feel a little bit railroady in certain parts because it's meant to be very open world, but there's a lot of sort of paths where you think you'll be able to skip through this field to get somewhere, as we all do in England all the time. You'll get to the other side and there is no way through that end fence. That got a bit frustrating because that was a lot of going back on myself. I managed to do about 10 hours. I finished playing it about an hour and a half ago. According to my GOG, I've played for 44 minutes and last played it yesterday, so take that as you will. But yeah, it was a good time. I don't regret playing it. I regret the install process, but once you're in it and you've got everything running smooth, I will say, don't validate your Fallout 4 file on Steam if you've installed it through Steam, because that breaks everything, and you have to go through the whole downgrading process again, which I had to do yesterday, and it took me about 2.5 hours.
Oof. So when I saw this and I looked at the list of things you would have to do to install the game, but the article said, or if you own Fallout on GOG, then it's just press a button and it installs. I went with the option of spend $10 on Fallout 4 again and just click a button and install. So I did not have a lot of these issues. Once again, my GOG did not whatsoever have the correct playtime or anything like that. I think, like it said at the time of recording, it says 3 hours, 40 minutes. I've put roughly 25 hours into it. In fact, I saw a tweet the other day. Somebody said after 68 hours, they finally beat the mod. I think as far along as I'm into it, and with everything I've seen of London and all the different boroughs and factions, it feels like a whole new Fallout game. It's as buggy as the Bethesda Fallout game at launch. With random crashes or things not working.
Yeah, it's buggy in a different way. But what I'll say about your GOG comment is great for GOG. They had it on sale at the time that Fallout London came out, so you could get it at a lower price. I have already paid for Fallout 4 as a disc and on Steam, so I'm not paying for it a third time.
I don't blame you for not doing it.
But the original, so to break down why this was such a problem, for me, probably the same reasons as Alex we've not discussed. In order to do it, you have to have Fallout 4 Game of the Year installed on Steam. You download the Fallout London Downgrader, which scans your files, and then you open it up on GOG, and everything works hunky-dory, except, in my case, if you try and link GOG and Steam, it doesn't work, despite having all of my correct details and signing in on the Steam app to confirm. It doesn't work. So they tell you to go to the Discord, which tells you all of the things that you manually have to download and input into the folders in Steam files on your computer. And that literally took me probably 9 hours to do.
Yeah, which is obnoxious. I will not, like I said, I just went with what they said was the easiest solution, and it was right. It does suck that that's the easiest one, but this is also part of the reason for the downgrader is that essentially when Bethesda, for whatever reason, decided to update Fallout 4, it doesn't really do much. It doesn't implicate the story. It doesn't really look that much better. The only thing it really does is add the Enclave into Fallout 4, which it didn't really need because that's supposed to be a West Coast faction.
Well, it also made the game 4K for console users.
Yeah.
Which I think that this is another thing that is maybe worth a very short conversation about. The developer of Fallout London really kicked up a stink about them releasing an update.
Yep.
And I'd be really keen to hear what your thoughts are on that, Slade and Alex.
Well, it had been so long, it seemed pointless to update. It really did. I understand him kicking up a stink after, especially the amount of detail and time that's been put into this. I would be throwing a stink too.
However, he's not associated with Bethesda in any way, and it's their game, and they can update it when they want. So, I feel like it was really using a audience that he garnered around a project that he'd spent a lot of time in and was obviously very invested in, using that to
goodbye, Alex.
To throw his toys out the pram is what I think is how I describe it. It was. It seemed
he didn't pull like a fez
over the top. Oh, he put out very long statements.
Yeah,
that made it seem like the update was personally made to ruin his life.
It might have felt like that, and may have said some heated things. But I do not understand why. After all, shouldn't he be working on Fallout 5, not updating Fallout 4, which at this time is how old?
It's their game, though. They can do what they want.
Yeah. Well, it's, it's
what do you think, Alex?
Skyrim again.
I think I did game study at university, and I can appreciate how much sort of energy and how much blood, sweat, and tears will have gone into making that mod. So for a company like Bethesda to go, by the way, we're doing this update 2 days before you release or whatever it was, it can seem like a kick in the teeth, and I can understand being frustrated and upset, but it's like you said, at the end of the day, it's Bethesda's game. If they're going to update it, they'll update it whenever they want. They're not exactly known for having a regular schedule.
Mm.
But I can see from his point of view how it can almost look like a personalized attack, because when was the last time Fallout 4 had an update?
Well, I kind of get it,
I-
because they're riding the coattails of the popularity of the TV show.
Yeah.
And it hasn't had an update for next-gen consoles. So I think this is just Bethesda's way of updating their existing product to the new market without having to release a whole new game. I
think it was incredibly unfortunate timing.
Yeah, I don't think it's
is
malice
all
from
it is.
Bethesda, but Alex is right. It's just really bad timing.
Hmm.
Because they wanted it to come out in tied with the release of the TV show, which would have been perfect timing.
Yeah.
But in the same sense, I think, because I think they go by Team Full On, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
They could have had a bit of sort of foresight about them to say, you know, we know this TV show's coming out. Bethesda might update their game that we're modding. How about we delay the release, wait and see what happens? That would have been the sort of sensible way to handle it. But
Mhm.
it is what it is, and it's happened. The game works, the mod works somewhat for now, and
Yep.
I'm sure they'll do something to make it easier to install.
Yeah, they've been doing hot fixes on the fly for crashing issues and bug fixes and things like that, which is good. It's happy that they did, or it's nice, not happy. It's nice that they're just letting
Getting
not
on
letting
with
it just sit there. They're actually like, okay, this is what's wrong with it. We'll fix that. We'll fix this. And you have to remember, it is a free mod at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like you said, the fact that there's so many people who make mods for games who will make the mod, drop it on Nexus or Steam Workshop, and then just forget about it. It's good that they are actively working through it, and it's a good sign for them. And I genuinely think I would like to see them make their own IP.
Well, they've founded a studio
Excellent.
after doing this. Yeah, so I would love to see what they'll do next. I will be keeping an eye on it. Before we continue on, and I hear what you did with your time, I'm going to read straight from the wiki of the story and the setting. So, Fallout London is set in 2237, placing it between the events of Fallout and Fallout 2. The story begins after a lab break-in where the player must escape to the surface. There are a number of factions vying for control of London during the story. The Gentry are London's rulers, based out of Westminster, descending from pre-war government of the United Kingdom. The Tommies are a militia backed by the Gentry that have self-imposed value to protect London. The Fifth Column is a pseudo-fanatic paramilitary organization who wishes to fight against the Gentry, creating I cannot speak today. What
You can do it.
is
We believe in you.
authoritarian.
Authoritarian.
That's the word I'm looking for. State with their leader, Eve Vannery, as supreme leader. The Camelot Movement is a medieval-inspired organization fighting to free London from Gentry rule, to replace it with a republic. Two rival gangs, the Isle of Dogs Syndicate and the Vagabonds, fight for territory. Lastly, there's Angel, and that is a secretive organization capable of creating humanoid pale clones. The player's interactions with these factions determine the flow of the game and ultimately the outcome. So, let's talk about what y'all did for your time. And let's start with Alex. How was your time playing Fallout London?
It was very reminiscent of the first time playing Fallout 4, the first time playing any Fallout game, really. Struggling to find ammo, running into areas that I shouldn't be in and getting absolutely wiped out. I don't know how many times I walked into a building and saw a 1-star boss, where when I would look at it with my VATS, with whatever my strongest weapon was, see the tiniest little millimeter of a health bar, and it's like, oh no, I'm dead again. I spent a good bit of time helping the vagabonds, up to rescuing Uma.
Mhm.
And then I wandered off and started just doing, because I got to there and I was like, I've got these guns, I've got 10 9mm bullets, and I've got 4 3.32 bullets.
Mhm.
Where's all my ammo? So I just started wandering around, as you do in these kind of like the Fallout, Skyrim type games. You just start wandering around, and you obviously your radar's full of little icons of different things, and it's like, ooh, what's that one that looks like a beer glass? Let's go have a look at that. So that was a good portion of my time, was just wandering around and finding ammo. I can happily say I now have over 200 3.32 bullets, and I'm a happy man.
Joey, how was your time?
We'll get onto my time in a second. Slade, did you ever say how you found this game? I don't remember.
I briefly did when introducing it. To me, at 25 hours in, as much as I've done, it feels like a brand new, fresh Fallout game. Honestly, it's very, and I know Joey, this one isn't your favorite, but story wise, maybe not gameplay and everything wise, it feels very reminiscent of Fallout New Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
With all the different factions and everything that I've seen and been a part of, and I've played a neutral party in all of them, trying to get the best outcome. And all the different, my time's been really good. I've been working with Angel for a bit. I've also done some stuff for the Fifth Column. I've done work for the Tommies. I currently run, not the Isle of Dog Syndicate. I made peace with them, and what's the fact? I literally just read it.
The Vagabonds.
The Vagabonds. I run the Vagabonds now, and I made peace with the. Made peace with the Vagabond. Not the Vagabond, but the Syndicate.
With the Isle of Dogs.
Yeah, I made peace between them.
Nice.
To try to take over the Gentry, because the Gentry.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I became the Gentry. No, I didn't become the Gentry. I spent a lot of my time ignoring all elements of the story. I joined the group that, you have to remind me what they're called, the ones who thought they were the Peaky Blinders.
The Vagabonds.
The Vagabonds. So I joined them to start with because I thought they look like fun, cool guys, and then they abandoned their friend to die.
Yep.
I tried to save his life, but ended up killing him because I have no medicinal knowledge whatsoever. He then said, as his last breath, go to the pub that they're drinking in and kill them for me. And I thought, that sounds like a lot of work. So I went back in the opposite direction. I found Churchill the dog. He became my companion. He was fun to send at enemies that were far too strong for him. I explored supermarkets like Tasco, which definitely isn't Tesco, and thought, oh, these bloat flies are easy to kill, only to come across the biggest bug I've ever seen in my life, the mama boat bloat fly. I never went back to Tasco again. I tried to find, where is it that you find the doctor at the start who cures you of your ailments? I can't remember what they're called.
There's the one, the Thames folk.
The Thames folk, yeah. Tried to find them. Went down into a sewer, got lost, went back up, and then when I got to the surface, there was 6 glowing ones in very short proximity of me. So I ran and ended up at Tower Bridge, where I found my friends, the cannibals, which I took copious amounts of drugs trying to escape from. From there, I stole all of their weapons and absolutely marmalised the fuck out of everyone that I met. Between there and Westminster, where I was promptly killed multiple times, trying to get in by people protecting the Gentry. What I did say is my absolute favourite thing in Fallout London is all of the different versions of British robots. And my favourite one was the one that looks like a post box and runs at you.
Yep. There's a lot of things. There's one point where how detailed London is, which I think is something we need to talk about. That I called Casey here into, because while I was playing, and I had a photo up that I took in the Camden Market by the where like the what do you call them, the riverboats come in and out.
Yep.
And I was stood in game and I was holding up a photo on my phone. I was like, I've been right here in real
That's
life.
pretty cool.
And the photo was taken from the same angle as I was looking at in the game. And I'm like, that's just trippy to look at. That's so
Nice.
weird.
Yeah, it was cool seeing bits that you've actually been to. Like, I'm sure you have that in other Fallout games. It's not an experience I've had though.
I've never had that before either.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that they used monuments really
Yep.
well in this. But the scale of the game is enormous. I feel like I didn't even scratch the surface with
No, I mean,
monuments and
if
stuff.
you hadn't even gotten to like Hackney, Islington, Camden's its own place.
Croydon's in there, Islington's in there.
There's, I mean, the map alone is just, it's huge with the different sub factions and places to go. Like, to me, the amount of work and detail, I know I've said it, it just feels like a whole new game.
Mhm.
And I have
I
it here.
really
there's-
liked the robot who fast traveled you up the Thames.
Yep.
He was
Oh,
cool. Also
well-
played by someone from Baldur's Gate, right?
Yes. Also, if you didn't find the Thames people, then there's like the ferryman, they call them.
Right.
So there's like a thing where you go help him with the Thames people to actually like get ferried around, and that dude will take you like specific places on the Thames River. But so in total areas, there's London itself, Westminster, Islington, Hackney, Camden, and the Bank of England are all individual places.
Nice.
The Thames is, I know like all the British people are like, oh, haha, yes, it is polluted. But like the amount of radiation you get out of it, I think I saw plus 350 rads at one point. Because I tried to like swim across. Yeah.
I fell in it a few times and it was 260 when I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, next to the HMS Dirge, or what, not Dirge, Dredge.
Dredge, yeah.
I fell in there and it was like, oh, 260 rads, might as well wait a second and die.
Yep.
It is exactly the same as
There's no getting out of that.
life, though.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's so many little details. I don't know. I guess since y'all didn't find the Thames people at one point. Oh, you did? Okay. Did you find Jeremy Clarkson in there?
That was Alex's mouthful way of saying I did.
Yeah. Did you find Jeremy Clarkson in there?
I don't remember finding him. Who was it? Who was he?
He was one of the Thames people.
Oh, just one of the random no-names.
Yeah. They had him named as Jeremy Clarkson.
I only talk to the important people.
He was tall and bragging about everything, which I thought was funny.
And was power.
Yeah. He was talking about
the fastest boat in the world.
Right. And then I ran into at one of the churches, I found Gordon Ramsay.
Nice.
And he was the chef, and he was screaming at me. And one of the dialogue options was, "Why are you yelling?" And it just said, "I can't hear." which made me, I was like, oh, okay, that's really funny. But there's a lot of little jokes, there's a lot of little fun. Alex sent me a message today about finding the cute Thulu dogs.
The cute Thulu dolls, yeah.
Yeah.
It's great because you find this little dot. I found it in.
There's one of the
ruined sky. I didn't find that one. The first one I found was the ruined skyscraper that was a hooligan hideout, and I just randomly running up the stairs. There's this little purple doll, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" So I pick it up. I like, you know, where you hold your thumbstick to inspect it. I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. I'll take that." Mm-hmm. And then it was like a strange presence fills your mind, and it's like, "Oh no!" And then nothing happened. I was like, "Oh, okay." So I carried on. Found another one. It was like the seeping darkness gets closer, and like, oh no, what's happening? So I had to Google it.
These are all things that happen regularly if you live in London.
And then occasionally,
mm-hmm.
And then occasionally there are also blue police call boxes that you'll find as well.
I don't get it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Doctor Who references. I just think every little nook and cranny of this world has a lot of detail in it. And I think, Joey, it has that thing that you and I talked about where we said the world of Fallout 3 is more interesting because it's such a big dense city. There's always something looking around.
Yeah.
Versus like the literal open barren waste that's like New Vegas or parts of Fallout 4.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that the story to me feels so much like New Vegas is that there are so many different like story options you can choose about who you're going to side with, what are you going to do, or you could just go in and do your own thing.
Or just kill everyone with a British bulldog called Churchill, like I did.
Yeah, why not?
I think I told y'all the first thing I did was like the first place you're in is one of the London Undergrounds.
Mhm.
And I was going through there. Maybe y'all had the same thing I did. I was wearing a bowler hat and I was killing rats with a cane.
Smacking him with a cane.
Yeah, and I thought that was
Tim
really funny.
Tim just heard that you were killing rats, and he's now looking around confused.
He's going to join in this call.
I do like the fact that the currency is tickets.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the fact that currency is tickets. I think that's a really good, nice touch for it instead of it just being bottle caps.
I missed that first time, so every time I killed the ghoul and it said 6 tickets on this body, I thought, no use
Junk,
for them. No use for them, so I would just ignore them and keep every bottle cap I found. And I was thinking, oh, bottle caps are very rare in this game. And then I went to buy something, and nothing I had was worth anything.
One of the other things I want to talk about after this mod came out, somebody, and I think this is so stupid. Somebody made a mod for Fallout London to un-British it.
What? Why?
So instead of instead of footballs, it's soccer balls. Instead of the lift, it's the elevator. Instead of finding Jimmy hats, they're condoms.
I just want to talk about Jimmy hats very quickly. That's something you can eat.
Is it not a condom?
Something you eat. It's
in the game, because I found some Jimmy hats in that little brothel with the shop.
I
only
only
sell-
sell in the beginning.
That it only sells handcuffs and dog collars. Let's not talk about it. But yeah, I found some Jimmy hats, and I was looking through my inventory, and I was like, "Hang on a minute, that gives you plus 10 health."
Oh, ew,
Yeah.
ew, ew.
Alex was devouring entire generations at once.
Yeah,
that's not
instead of shrimp. It's like eating a bunch of krill.
That's
Like
not.
froob.
I've never heard Jimmy hats before this game. It's not a
Neither
thing
have
that
I.
people actually say, Slade.
I assumed it was something British, but I knew immediately that meant condom. So I don't know.
Yeah. But if it was Johnny's, I could understand. People call them
No.
Johnny's.
Yeah.
But
No. But I don't know who made that, but you're a moron because you're playing Fallout London.
That's an American who, when I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm going to download a British version of Fallout 4 and see what we get there.
Yeah.
And then American.
And I'm going to sound very American here, but I want to preface this that it will make sense. Did this feel like it was extremely British? And I mean, like, a lot of times the accent and the people talking was like dialed up to 11 or 12. That's what I mean.
It's a
that's
caricature.
what I mean by that. Yeah.
It's a caricature of London. No one actually speaks like Dick Van Dyke. It's right. It's definitely over the top.
Yeah, that's what I mean, is that it's turned up like massively.
But I think the whole mod was really turned up, but in a way that's like kooky and a bit wild, and it's definitely there as a bit of a cartoonist's view of London. It's never meant to be like. Go on, sorry,
the entire mod. The entire mod was a Monty Python film.
A carry-on sketch.
Yeah, it was a carry-on sketch.
Yeah, I think
carry on up the Thames.
It's carry on after the bomb. It's yeah, it's a caricature of London. The whole mod is
right.
But I think it worked in its favour. Everyone was like, "Oh bloody hell! What are you doing in this bloody London?"
Yeah, you said it right in the beginning. I mean, the first people you meet, they're straight from Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
Yep.
Famously not London.
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, it's Birmingham.
Oh
However
god, that was even worse than when Alex does it.
Well, if I say Birmingham, they know I mean Alabama.
It's because you put the H in it.
We don't say H's in the UK.
No.
Birmingham.
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 Birmingham. That
There
was
you go.
pretty good, actually.
Not
Next
Birmingham.
Next time on Game Club Pod, we teach Slade how to speak in different English accents.
All right. Very
We'll
cool.
do Geordie next, Slade.
Oh, God, no. So, on the tail end of this, let's move on to some final thoughts. Let's get some scores and reviews. I want to start this time with Alex.
No. Yes. Okay. Yeah. No. If you ignore the issues with actually getting the game going, it's a very fun experience. It is very, very British. I think a lot of the references and some of the bits of it might be lost on a non-British audience, but that is fine. Like, it's the same with Fallout. Playing Fallout as a British person, you might not understand some of the references there. I think the devs did a very, very good job creating a world and a mod that felt like a Bethesda game. The problem with a lot of mods, especially for very well-known franchises like Fallout and like Skyrim, is people do mods that don't feel up to it, but these guys have put a lot of work in, and it definitely shows. I didn't play as much as I'd have liked to, and I probably will be going back to it. The only things I would like to see is an easier install process and less crashes. But other than that, it's a Fallout mod. I enjoyed my time with it. I'm going to, for a score, it's going to be a 6.5. With a recommend, because it's fun. It is very fun to play because it's basically a new Fallout game, but it is a pain in the ass to get started with.
Mm-hmm. Joey, what we doing?
While Alex was speaking, I pulled up our game scores. I know what I was going to give this before I looked at what I looked at. I actually agree with Alex. I think a 6.5 is really fair and what I'm going to give it. And I wanted to check that because this game is this mod is better as a game than I think Fallout 76 was as a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I didn't enjoy Fallout London as much as I did Fallout 3. I enjoyed it much more than I enjoyed 76. If you own Fallout 4 Game of the Year on PC, if you can, assuming by the time this episode goes out, they have fixed the installation process and that is now easy, it's very hard not to recommend this game. If they haven't, then I would give it a miss until they do. So it's sort of a half recommendation for me, but a 6.5 is a absolutely fair score from our honey shrimp man in the corner.
Are you also giving it a 6.5 then?
I am, yeah.
All right. Well, I can tell you're already in the spreadsheet with me. I think that's you. But I'm going to
always
give
in the sheet with you.
Yeah, you are. But I know I've put over double the playtime that you two have, and it feels like playing a fresh and brand new Fallout game. I'm sorry that I'm saying that I'm sorry to you two because I made y'all play this. The install is such a pain outside of GOG. I agreed that it should be easier to make it more accessible for people. But I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. This has been the best thing I've played so far this year, I think, and I'm just gonna keep playing it. This has been
Nice.
so. I'm nowhere near. I feel like I'm nowhere near the end of the story. I saw somebody on Twitter the other day said it took him nearly 70 hours to beat it. There's so much more to do, I feel like. But I'm enjoying it. These guys have done a lot of really, really good work, and it's been fun.
I think
Right.
I appreciate the apology, Slade. I'd
Yeah,
like it
do
in
better next time,
writing
though.
if that's okay.
Never.
No, we fully understand that this isn't. It's never on you. It's never on the person recommending the game.
I know,
I
but
just
it's still a
think
game.
I think it's something we need to talk about with this game, because
Well,
if it wasn't for that, I think my 6.5 would be probably an 8. But
I will also say that I think that it shows the difference because you two played it from Steam. I just said, "It here's the it was like $10 I think for the GOTY version, so I didn't have to deal with it.
Yeah,
I made it money, so I just threw the money at the problem instead of having to deal with all this. I think I would score it lesser like you would, but like I said, it's one of the best things I've played all year. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10. I wish that Bethesda would put this much love and effort into a Fallout game.
Before we
highly
go
recommend.
anywhere, I'm on imaginary maps. I searched for the Fallout London map, and someone has come up with a map of what they think the British and Irish wasteland would be. And it's all of the UK, so it's not Fallout London. And they've given names to everywhere. So for Manchester, they've called it Vault-Tec UK.
Right.
That's one. In Scotland, they've named it Callum McPherson. I don't know why. Carlisle is the Junkies.
Carlisle?
Carlisle is the Junkies. Leeds is the Good Society.
Sorry, Leeds is the Good Society.
Yeah, London is the Glorious Empire of Slough, which is quite funny. Birmingham in the Midlands, where I live, is just called The Hole.
Well, that's obviously where they would drop the bomb, would be somewhere around the Midlands, because that's like maximum efficiency for sort of radiation and everything. If they dropped it in London, Scotland would be fine, and vice versa. If they dropped it in Glasgow, London would be fine. Birmingham,
for our Birmingham contingent there. Well done, Alex. The top comment is, "Oh God, oh f***, Mega Slough, the world is doomed."
Oh,
sorry, Slade.
I meant to mention this. Joey, I ran into a familiar face while playing Fallout London.
It was me.
I ran into a familiar face, a very young man named Alistair Tenpenny.
Nice.
I ran into a character hanging out in Westminster named Alistair Tenpenny.
Did you get to blow up his tower at all? Or?
He requested, and I'm not going to do this because I've never been able to bring myself to do it. He wants me to blow up the Eye of London.
Oh, do it. The London Eye, but yeah. Do it. Make sure you blow it up. Everything Tenpenny requests, just do it.
I've never done it. Never
He's
been
a
able
good
to bring
guy.
myself to do it.
He's the best guy.
I thought you'd find that interesting to know. If you make your way to Westminster, you can find him.
For those of you who don't understand that reference, it's someone we spoke about in Fallout 3 who has a tower that asks you to blow up a city that is built around a nuclear bomb.
I've never done it.
And I did it immediately.
Never have.
He didn't even give me the other option. I just clicked the detonator.
He didn't even tell him the reward. He just went, "Yep."
Yeah,
I would like you to blow up Megaton. Okay, bang.
All right. So, because I haven't got to say this, that gives this 3 recommends and a 7.3 repeating out of 10.
Nice.
Now, I would normally say right here, Tim, what are we playing? Or no, whose turn is it? Joey, it is your turn next. Joey, what are we playing in 2 weeks' time?
Oh my God, I have no idea.
I mean, I'm not, because I'm not on that episode. So
Slade, you're gonna have to edit this because I've come out the spreadsheet. Hold on. Okay. In 2 weeks' time, he said seamlessly, we're playing. Have you ever watched Sesame Street? Do you wish that you could watch Sesame Street with a big gun in your hand? We're playing My Friendly Neighborhood.
Excellent. Well, I hope the 3 of you enjoy.
I've finished it. I didn't.
I've not started.
Spoilers. Spoilers, Joey.
Fine.
All right.
All
right, we'll see everybody in the post-amble.
No, there's going to be a post-amble.
Submarine. We've all seen that nuclear submarine. A nuclear submarine, yeah. And we've all seen that nuclear submarine. A nuclear submarine, yeah. And he spilled his iron brew
on his old brown boots, and he fell down to the floor, went out, and then he told us all that we've all seen that nuclear submarine, yeah. And we've all seen that nuclear submarine, yeah. And when he found his feet,
Joey, it's post-amble.
Right.
What are we doing?
I don't know. I haven't prepared anything.
Oh, you didn't prepare anything?
What are we
You-
doing?
oh, hold on. Do you want me? Let me find something really quick for you.
No,
Slade.
nope.
No.
We can just end the recording. I just
No.
assumed
I've got
'cause-
something for you. Okay, so
That
Joey's
shouldn't
always
have
prepared.
said- shouldn't have said anything. Should have just been
I
like, yep,
have-
we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. And...
yeah, you should have done.
Bye-bye.
I have got for you a British slang quiz.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
This is ripped straight from
ChatGPT.
BuzzFeed. So
BuzzFeed even better.
worse than ChatGPT. They are multiple choice,
Please sponsor us.
but they are not difficult. So, Slade, this is for you.
Mhm.
I want you to give me the answer of what you think the slang means, and then Alex can give you the correct answer. So,
If Alex knows the correct answer.
you'll know the correct answer.
Alright, okay.
What does the term sod off mean?
F off.
Let's go away, correct.
Yeah.
What profession would you be if you were described as a rozzer?
Police officer.
Correct. I mean,
of time
if
watching-
you,
A lot
if you
of time
don't
watching
get
Top Gear.
this, if you don't get this, I will be really disappointed. What is a bloke?
It's one of my dudes.
It's just a little guy.
A man.
Oh, it's one of my
Um,
dudes.
So we're going to be called two men from England the next episode. So, which of these is a bog roll? Is it driving through a bog, a cinnamon swirl, a log, or toilet paper?
It's a cinnamon. No, it's toilet paper.
Well done.
I-
How do you feel when you're chuffed?
Happy?
Correct. You
I
could
don't
be
think I-
English, Slade.
Yeah, like I said.
You've passed your citizenship test here. I'm just here to sign the paper.
How would you describe someone who is dishy? I'll give you the four: attractive, gossipy, obnoxious, or drunk.
Dishy?
Yeah.
Could you use it in a sentence?
No.
No.
That person is dishy.
Thanks, Joey. Thanks, Joey. I think obnoxious is one of the words you say, but that's what I kind of feel like it would be.
Okay, Alex, do you have any?
It's attractive, isn't it?
Yes, it is attractive. I've never
heard that.
used it.
I think that's like a proper chavvy term.
Okay. Where would you go for a kip? Is it A, a coffee shop, B, a doctor's office, C, the pub, or D, bed?
C.
Incorrect. It is bed. A kip is
Yeah,
asleep.
a kip is a nap. Yeah.
I was thinking about the food.
What food?
Like kippers? You're going to go off for... Yeah.
I mean,
No, it's going for a nap.
I'd question anyone who went to the pub for kippers. That's gross. Slade, if you are pissed,
Drunk.
you are A. Well, there you go. Yeah, drunk.
Also angry.
Yeah. In America.
Which of these words is not a word for the... sorry, let me start that again. Which of these is not a word for idiot? Pillock, twit, tosser, minger.
One more time?
Which of these is not
Uh-huh.
a word for idiot? Pillock, twit, tosser, minger.
They all... I think
Alex, do you
Minger.
know the answer?
I do.
Okay.
Is it Minger? Because I'm thinking Minge, and Minger might be...
It is minger. That is
Yeah.
someone who is unattractive.
I've never heard of it. I've never heard of tosser being used for that though.
Well, more so
Really?
than Minga. There's two more. We'll get through these quickly, and then you can stop listening to this drivel.
Yep.
Which of these words would you use to describe good food?
Bussin'.
Bussin'. Numpty, spawny, jacksy, or scrummy?
Grummy.
Correct.
Look, I'm passing my UK citizenship test. That's all.
What does snogging someone mean?
Isn't that what you do to me on Friday nights?
You need to be a bit more specific. There's many bases that we cover there.
Snogging. It doesn't mean doing the dirty, doing the deed. Bit of fornication.
Alex, what does snogging someone mean?
Not quite sex level. It's making out. It's first base, basically.
Okay.
Giving a good old
Slade,
smooch.
you have been permitted entry to England, but you're only allowed to go to Hull. So
No, not Hull. No, anywhere but Hull.
that's it.
And you're not allowed
Next time I'm on an episode with you, Slade, we'll do Birmingham specific slang because that is absolutely insane.
I don't know if Alex was with us then. We went to the bull rink in Birmingham.
Yep. Bull ring.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The bull ring in Birmingham. We went there.
That was even worse than the first time.
We went there. Two people walked by just speaking straight Brummy, and I remember looking at Tim and being like, "What the did that were those words?"
So Tim's girlfriend is from Newcastle,
Mm-hmm.
and they speak Geordie up there.
Mm-hmm.
And I met Tim and his girlfriend in person last weekend, and she said something. Yeah, the first time I've met Tim, I've met his girlfriend before. She said something, and it was the only time it's ever happened with her. And I just looked her in the eyes, and I just went, "I'm really sorry. I know that you spoke some English there, but you're gonna need to say the whole thing a lot slower." Because it was just like, it's
like Gerald
like
on
seagulls.
Clarkson's farm. It's like Gerald on My favorite part where it's like the subtitles be like Gerald incoherently speaking.
Yeah.
Like they just
it's
gave up.
never happened before or since with her, but
The Geordies have a similar The Geordies have a similar problem that the Scottish have, where when they start getting either really angry or like really excited about something, the full accent comes out, and you look at them going, like if you're any further south than like Middlesbrough, you haven't got a chance.
Slade, I said we're going to do it next time, but I really want to go through something with you. Have you ever heard of a comedian called Jimmy Carr?
I know who Jimmy Carr is. He can't laugh.
He can't. He does it on the intake. But Jimmy Carr does a routine where he teaches people how to speak in different accents. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to do the Geordie one. So you're just going to have to copy me, okay?
Okay.
So the first thing he makes them say is "pooper scooper." So just say it like that.
Poopa scoopa?
Pooper scooper.
Poopa scoopa.
Perfect.
Yeah.
What else do you say? It's
roller coaster.
Roller coaster.
Roller coaster.
Perfect. And then go Kawasaki. Like the bike. Kawasaki.
Kawasaki.
Perfect. Now say them all together.
Poopa scoopa roller coaster Kawasaki.
There you go. You're basically a Geordie now.
I need to get there's a
Somewhere
superintendent
out there, Pansy, isn't there?
There's a superintendent I work with. I'll see if I can get it on recording, but he's a native Cajun.
Wow.
And Cajun is a combination of Native American, French, and English.
Okay.
So when he calls me on the phone, it's like every other word is all I'm getting out of him for what he needs. And it's I gotta get a recording of him one day when he's not like paying attention. He's just going all at it. I guess we'll get out of here on that note.
Yeah, I think we should before we offend anyone.
Nah, let's offend everybody.
Anyone else?
Speaking of offending things, Joey, did you see the 20 minutes of footage from Chris Chan getting arrested, the police officer's body cams. Bye, Joey.
Bye, Joey.
Keep smiling through, just like you always do, till the blue skies drive the dark clouds far away. So will you please say hello to the folks that I know? Tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that as you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Keep smiling through, just like